So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the items that you don't need as a student when you are going to college or university. If you just gain an admission into an institutions and you are preparing to go and start the new academic section, you're always preparing your list to some of the items that you're going to need and what have you. So, but in the midst of preparing some of those lists, there are certain items that you actually don't need as a student, especially if you are just got admission and you're in your first year. So these are the items and the things I'm going to be sharing with you. So if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and if you are already subscribed, thank you very much. And so with that, now let's get into the video proper. So the first thing I want to be sharing with you, one of the items that I believe you will need going to the university or going to college, is number one is a television. Now, if you have been following my recent video series on some of the items that you will need while going to college or going to university, you see that I've mentioned laptops. So laptop is one of the gadgets that you actually need, and I've done a video where I list some laptops under $500. So if you already have a laptop, there's no reason or there's no need for you to add a television. Exactly. So your laptop can also serve the purpose of television. And besides, you are going there to study. So what's the where you might not even have enough time to sit down and say you want to watch TV or you want to watch any program. And if I thought you want to watch, your laptop is there to serve that purpose. So the first one on my list is television. You actually don't need it. So what? Now the second one is a game console. Now, you actually don't need this also, because you might not have enough time to sit and play games. And if I thought you have time, probably the time you're supposed to be using to do other academic work and you want to use it to be playing game, it doesn't make too much sense to me. Exactly. Also, if you are going with a game console, by the time your colleague find out that, oh, you have a game console in your hostel, in your apartment, or whatever you call it, before you know it, you start to attract friends. Exactly. And within few months or a couple of weeks, your apartment might just become an entertainment center or a game center. With that, you will not have enough privacy for yourself. Probably the time you're supposed to spend reading or studying your books or doing other things, you just see that your friends are trooping in to come and play games in your apartment. And you know the funny thing, sometimes they might just be coming to play game at your own apartment at their own leisure time. Probably they've spent the whole night reading and they just need some time off to go and play, and then you see that they're in your apartment. So over time, you discover that you won't have enough time for yourself, you won't have privacy, and then it will bring a lot of distractions. Exactly. So although there might be exception, probably you are a gaming content creator, you create content around gaming and what have you, which is quite understandable, but you have to learn to create a balance. Going to the college or going to university with a game console is not a good idea, especially in your first year. Exactly. So that's the second one. Now, the third thing that you will not need is all your clothes. While you are preparing, you might be tempted to go with all the beautiful clothes that you have, or maybe all your clothes entirely. Exactly. So you might not need this. You don't need to go with all your clothes. Make sure you keep some back home. You take some portion to school. Remember, you are not going there for a beauty pageant. You also have to remember that you are not going there to impress anybody with what you wear or how you dress. And I understand that you are trying to create a first impression. You want to look good. You want to look presentable and what have you. But there are ways you can do it without having to go with all your clothes. Exactly. So that's the third thing. You don't need to go with all your clothes. So that's the third thing. Now the fourth one is some kitchen equipment. You have to check your student handbook or your college website to check some of the gadgets that they don't allow, especially if you are going to be staying in the university hostel or in the university campus, or maybe even outside the university campus. Some gadgets are not allowed in some apartments, so you have to take note of this, especially those high energy consuming appliances or kitchen appliances. Some apartments don't allow, some institutions don't allow, so you have to really check the school website or you check about the apartment if what are the gadgets they don't allow, so you don't just spend too much time or waste too much time transporting those items, and at the end of the day you find out that you're unable to use them. So that's the first thing. The fourth thing that you don't actually need to go with. So some certain kitchen appliances, and you have to find out that for yourself. All right, so we've talked about four so far. So now let's look at the fifth one. The fifth one are cars. Yeah, you might have a car, and then while going, you don't actually need it, especially in your first year. As time goes on, you might find need to go to take your car along. Probably you have other things to sort out and you're looking for a flexible way of moving around and what have you. But if in your first year, I don't think you need it, because it creates some kind of unnecessary attention, and to me it creates some unnecessary attention that can be very distracting if you are not careful. So going to college or going to university with a car is something that is not of great necessity, especially in your first year. So you might want to find out if your school has a flexible means of transportation for students and what have you. Check out what are the other options available without you needing to go with your car. All right. So the last one I want to share with you is your O-level textbook. You might think that probably in your first year, some of the courses or some of the subjects you're going to be doing is probably you're going to be touching some of your O-level, some of the topics you did during O-level, and then you might feel like, okay, let me go with my O-level textbook. Seriously, you might not need it. Exactly. So you don't need to go with them, because in your first year in college, your first year of university, they already have their own textbook. They already have their own material. Exactly. So you might not even need to make reference to some of your O-level textbook. And if at all you remember, okay, there's a line I read in my O-level textbook and I need to make reference to it, you can simply go on Google. You can simply go on ChatGPT or whatever to get some of those information. So the reason why I'm saying is that so that you not just take too many loads to college or university, and at the end of the day you discover that you need to take them back. So it's going to be a waste of time, waste of resources, and waste of space. Exactly. So these are I think I've shared with you six items that you actually don't need to take along with you to college or to university. So let's just go through it once again. And the first one I mentioned, the television. I mentioned the game console, all your clothes. You don't need to go with all your clothes. Certain kitchen appliances. So you have to find out something like maybe if it's hot plates, if it is just high energy consuming kitchen equipment. You just have to find out which of them is not allowed, so that you don't just take unnecessary load. I mentioned cars and I mentioned your O-level textbooks. So that is it, guys, for this video. If there's any of these items that you think should be on this list that I didn't mention, kindly let me know in the comment section below. And if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up video. And also don't forget to check the playlist on helpful resources, as I've shared with you some of the items that you actually don't need to go to the college or university with. I also have a video that explains or I list out some gadgets that you need as a student, I mentioned some bedroom items that you're going to need, some kitchen items, some bedroom items you're going to need as a student. So I did a separate video for that. You can check the playlist of helpful resources, or just check the description of this video and then you'll find those links to those videos. All right, so thank you very much, and I'll see you all in another video.